Microblading strokes. Now everybody are interested in techniques of laying down the strokes. You can make strokes in two techniques, manual and apparatus. In both techniques it's gonna be beautiful if you know the specific details. We need to learn all the pattern of the strokes. Let's break it down. There is a two popular pattern of laying down the strokes. One of them for hair which grown down, it's Asian style brows, and another one where hair grows up, European style. Let's start and put everything on a paper. Asian brows. First of all, we're gonna draw the brow and add the height of a brow. It's about 1 centimeter. And a little bit lower, when edge of the brow, you are starting to draw a helpful line, merging with the tail of the brow. And here we have a body of a brown tail. Let's see how we draw the hair here. First starting right here, not from the beginning. Right in the middle. Next one we put in the comfortable distance from the first one, and direction of stroke gonna go like this. It's like the part of the circle. Here it is. The next in the same distance from the second, and again. This is the part of the circle. And the next one is the same. Look why we put that line a little lower than the edge of brow. And the next one I'm starting from here. And after it's gonna go a little fever. So this part, it looks like this. You see, all the gaps between strokes are the same. It's very important. And after all the strokes, the part of this circle, you see, it almost seems like they're falling down. That stroke is very important. Let's mark it here. We don't want to lose it. This stroke is also important. Let's mark it down. Now we're going on the top of the brow. You see, we're gonna keep that distance between the strokes here also. And we're going L strokes. Here and grabbing a scratch of the brow. And the next one starting almost from the edge of the brow and changing the direction. They're almost growing from each other. And we continue till the end of the tail. It's called Asian brow. Here the strokes we drawing down, and now when we have a scratch of the brow we can add more strokes to make our brow more fluffy. Here we will start in this section. You see are putting in the strokes in between. You see? And again, from the middle of the brown, we're putting a new one. In the middle we're putting. You can see how I'm doing that. And all of them, the parts of the circle. Now we can make it more fluffy. In the height, we draw strokes a little different. We are starting from the same point, the previous stroke, drawn but changed the direction in a little bit. And we go from low points. And don't forget, every our strokes, it's a part of the circle. Look at this part. It's starting with the straight lines here, and the next one straight also, but go different direction. And now we are practicing the same, but making a circle curve here. You can see how they're going over here. And in that place, we're going a little curve. And the next one, we're making a little curve too. A little curve right here, like that. In these parts, we're going a little bit curve. Can you see? And the next one, gonna be more curved than previous. We just broke down the tail of this brown. Now let's make a beautiful hat. This is the beginning and it's beautiful, and now we are making it fluffy. See how we're drawing additional strokes. Now we're gonna do additional strokes between. We are making them merge on the top. We are adding additional short strokes. It's gonna look beautiful, and it's the place we can put some shades. With shade brow, getting the volume. You see how I'm adding it? Yeah. So now you can see how beautiful it's gonna look like. The brow gonna get the volume. So total, don't forget the first stroke. It's gonna be shorter and show the direction of the other strokes. That stroke on the bottom, second important point. This stroke keep the lane of the brow. If you will put the strokes here on the direction, you're on the risk of losing it. You see that? Now we are starting pattern from European brown. Again. Splitting the hat of the brow about 1 centimeter. Now from the highest point, we're drawing the perpendicular line. The body of brow we split on the equal parts. And now we are drawing a circle, starting from this point and finishing in a tail. Now, tail, we are splitting on equal parts also. Can you see that? And from the middle of the tail, we are drawing another circle, half of the circle. Now we have additional helping lines, which are showing us direction of the strokes we need to draw. And the first important stroke we put at the end of the tail, and it's pretty much long. Can you see that? Now inside of the circle we are drawing strokes in the same direction as a helpful line. It's a part of the circle and it's very important. Never forget about it. And that empty triangle, it's very important. Be concentrate now. Look how we are working here. This stroke is also very important. And after few of strokes, we are drawing the same long ones in the same direction. And this is a pattern of European brow. Let's check the important strokes again. One on the head, one on the tail, and one on the top of the curve. We can't lose them. Now we're gonna draw in kind of the arrow strokes. Look what it is. We putting them one to another. And look what are we doing here in that triangle. You see how I'm doing that? We're going from down and go back. Look at that strokes. That looks like a long S's, like S, straight lines and a little curves between them. Yes, like that. Look, it's going straight line, a little straight line, and then we have to curve them right here. A little curve, and then you're gonna get this S letter. So this is this ones. That's it. Now we're practicing on the latex. After you draw your brow on latex, don't forget to draw the help lines. Like that. Because even if you will map symmetrical brows in the direction of the strokes, gonna be different in each brows. Now it's very important how you handling your pen. If you're gonna hold it like that, you're applying the blade like that. And listen the sound. You already broke the skin. So it's very important to hold your pen like this. Now pay attention on my hand. I'm not moving the whole hand, only my fingers are working. And I'm a little bit scroll the pen. The pattern of the strokes is very simple. You just need to practice and remember it. On the bottom of brows, all strokes on the same distance. It's very important. On the top of brow, the distance between strokes wider than in the bottom. very important stroke, which is fixing the line of the brow. All the strokes starting almost perpendicular, almost falling down in the end. Now drawing strokes here. And again, we need to control the equal distance between the strokes. Then we're dipping the blade into pigment. The pigment will remain in the skin. But after we draw the carcass of the brow, we rub the pigment in the cuts. And give it a minute to absorb the pigment. Minute is gonna be just enough. And now a little secret. To remove the pigment, you need to apply micellar water. And don't forget to dry the skin after. And now we can see the pattern and making it fluffy now. See on the bottom, we have strokes on small distance between each other. In the center of the brow, we have a space. Now we're gonna put more strokes in here. We are putting 2 more strokes in between in different directions. Just like this. And again, don't forget, every single strokes, it's a part of circle. Can you see that? Just like that. All our strokes, it's a part of the circle. How we can make this brow more beautiful? We can make more strokes, but better if we will put shades. Look, we have 2 different types of needles for shades. You see? They're doing different patterns. And now we will see how to make shades on the brow. All the body and tail we will work with a bigger needle. On the hat we are using smaller needle and we put shades right on the direction of strokes. So we are working with the small one. Let's clean it. You can see how we're doing that. Let's clean it and check what we're gonna get. And now you can see the difference. On the hat, we put shades very precisely. And now you can see the difference. On the hat, we put shades very precisely, and on the body of the tail, more spread. So you can see how beautiful it's look. And let's start again. We draw the brow, put the helping lines, And don't forget, when we are drawing strokes, only our fingers are moving and scrolling the pen. So don't forget how it's works. Just like that, I'm gonna show you again. Scrolling the pen. And let's start again. We draw on the brow, put the helping lines, and don't forget, we are drawing strokes. Only our fingers are moving and scrolling the pen. Let me show you how else we can use blades. We can draw strokes as we made a shade. Now do draw a line, but put the needle step by step to create the line. Watch why we need it. Let me explain why in apparatus technique strokes looks more beautiful. Because in the end of the stroke, it's a little bit lift our hand and the line ends very thin. We can have the same effect in manual technique if we in the end the line with the shading method. Just touch the skin with the blade in the end and it's gonna be thin also. So you can see. Just like that. So you can see how thin is that. Let me explain you now how to work with the wide blade. You're always doing pendulum movement. You put the blade in the skin, press a little bit with the pendulum movement, and take it back. Not direct movement, pendulum movement. Not like that. But you put it down, press a little bit with the pendulum movement. You see? Because if you're doing direct movement back and forth, look how we are breaking the skin. Look at that. Listen that sound. That's wrong. And it's gonna be a scar on the skin. Can you hear the sound? This is gonna be a scar. When we are working by this needle, we have to put needle next to previous step. If we're gonna work with our straight order, it's gonna be difficult to fill the empty spaces. Just like that, you can see what I'm doing. We are working section by section. After you're done with one section, you can start another one. Just like that. You can see how I'm doing that. It's gonna be beautiful. Just like that. And you have to remember, it's very important, with this needle, we're working section by section only. Now I'm gonna show you another needle. It's called roller. Let's see how to work with that needle. It's look like that. Let's see. The challenge with this needle, you need to drop it in the pigment very often. Let me show you. Also, you need to apply this needle in a different directions. Then you are doing the shading. Also, you can put shade with the roller. Repeat the lines if the strokes. And the brow, it's gonna get more volume. Just like that. You see how beautiful it's going? Now you can see here, we're just repeating of the hair strokes. And the brow gonna get more fluffy. It's gonna look more beautiful. But if the client has a lot of real hair, you cannot work with this needle. It's only good to use with a client with alopecia. Now let's try another pattern we knew already. We're gonna map the brow. Drawing all helpful lines you know for now, and now starting to draw strokes. Now we're gonna clean it. We're gonna start here from the end, from the tail. We are done. Now, you're gonna get homework, do it, send it back to us, and you will get next lesson. See you soon and good luck.